Is this the most popular two-story plan with Pulte Homes? Let's see. In this video, I'm walking you through the Lawson plan built by Pulte Homes. Now, I had a client walk through this model home months ago and reach out to me and say, show me options that are better than the Lawson plan. And we went out to multiple communities and we ended up coming back here and contracting on this exact floor plan simply because of all the great features that are shown in this plan. Now, I'm going to give you my client's perspective and so many clients that have walked through this model home throughout the video, and this is going to be one of those first things they say. Clients tell me when we walk in through the front door, they love how it's open to the second story, and when you get out to this main living area, you start to realize how much square footage is in this plan with that huge living room, this massive kitchen island, and a dining breakfast nook area in the back. Now, we are over 3,600 square feet. This specific model home has 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, and a 2-car garage with a separate storage space in that garage. Now, we will go through some structural upgrades, one of which my client actually got, giving them 5 bedrooms and 4 full bathrooms. But I gotta tell you, they were able to change some design upgrades in their inventory home that they bought, most of which were in this kitchen, where they went for an incredible countertop with some veins running through it, a backsplash that coordinates really well with that countertop, and wait until you see their primary bathroom. And if they're listening, I gotta tell my clients, I will reach out to you and ask for permission to get a video of your home once it's complete, because I would love to show it to others, because I think there was some incredible design in there. Now, starting off here in the kitchen, this model home also has some great design with this backsplash in a picket fence pattern going all the way up to the ceiling following that vent hood. And then we have a single basin sink in this enormous kitchen island that looks out to the living room and backyard. And there is so much to see in this home. We got a media room and a huge game room upstairs. We have a big primary bedroom that has a good structural upgrade in it that I'll talk about in detail. And then I also want to mention we are in a community called Bluffview in Leander, Texas, a suburb outside of Austin, Texas. Now, there is a new community opened up right next door that Pulte is building in, and I'm going to show you one of those lots in that community later on in the video. Now, while we're here in the kitchen, I just want to show you the pantry is around the corner here, and then there would be an entrance into that 2-car garage with a storage space there. Now, I'm going to show you what that looks like right here in a second, and then we're going to get back out to the living room and that breakfast nook area because that space is so massive. And while we head over there, I did want to mention that we are in a community, like I said earlier, called Bluffview, and then the neighboring community that Pulte is opening up is called Bluffview Reserve. I know that's confusing, but basically Bluffview and Bluffview Reserve are close to each other. There's just a difference in amenities between the two communities and tax rate and HOA for that reason. Oh, by the way, around the corner, as you can tell, there is a utility room here, which I think is a good spot for it. But going back to communities, I was in this community when this model home was getting built out. In fact, when it was under construction, I remember coming out here with one of my clients who, by the way, is buying their second home just north of here, and we ended up building from scratch back in 2020. But at that time, I was telling them that people are looking at this area saying it's beautiful. There was a roundabout that you could drive out to in this community called Bluffview, and you could see the hillside at the southern end of the neighborhood. And you can still see that today, even with the community built out. There's an amenity center at that roundabout, so you can get a good visual of that hillside at the southern end of this neighborhood. And I'm going to show you a glimpse of what that looks like later on in the video. And my point is, so many people, I think, come out to this neighborhood and they say, wow, it has the beauty that I think so many people are looking for when they move to Austin. And then they have these large homes that people are trying to move up into, like the Lawson plan with Pulte. Like, take a look at this couch. It's massive. And then you have that beautiful wooden beam running across that fireplace with the TV there. On the left side, it opens up into the kitchen. On the right side, you got windows that capture the beauty that's here in this community. I think that combination was so sought after, and it became so popular that this community started bidding with 2 builders that we're building here, with Pulte being one of them, and the lot premiums just started getting bid up to a 6-figure amount just for the lot. Now, rest assured, if you're watching this in 2024 or beyond, we're not bidding. I don't think I know of any neighborhoods right now that are bidding, unless it's a resale neighborhood that is very limited with inventory. But that just shows you how many people were after communities like this that were beautiful. And I think that neighboring community you'll see that Pulte's building in, along with this one, is beautiful. Moving on, we are in the primary bedroom. I love how they have a tray ceiling, and I love when I see people paint that ceiling. That just draws your eyes upward. Also, there was a bay window structural upgrade on that back wall, which just adds a curve in that wall and adds a 4th window instead of having 3 windows, which I think is very important for a lot of these builds to open up that space, especially a space that you're going to be using every day, your primary bedroom. Moving on into your primary bathroom, I like this gray countertop and how it pulls out the veins in the tile that we see here in the shower. Now, I have a personal preference here. I like the tile turned vertically there, going all the way up to the ceiling. That way those veins kind of run up and down, and that draws your eyes upward. But again, it's personal preference. I've had people like this look of just keeping it horizontal. Speaking of personal preference, I love that rain shower in there. I've had so many clients put in a rain shower in their home. And I was talking to my wife the other day, and I said, hey, on our next house, we have to get a rain shower. And then I caught myself saying that. I said, wait a second, is this kind of like a keeping up with the Joneses thing, or is there really value in having that rain shower? And sure enough, we were traveling one day, and at our hotel, we had a rain shower in that hotel. And my first shower in there, I said, nope, this is not a keeping up with the Joneses thing. This is awesome, and I have to have this in my next house. This is so therapeutic in a way. So let me know what you think about rain showers, if you've ever experienced them before. Are they overrated, underrated? You tell me in the comments. Okay, moving on, we are in the primary closet. And by the way, we're gonna head outside after this. I'm gonna show you one of the lots that backs up to a beautiful greenbelt in the neighboring community called Bluffview Reserve. And actually through those windows, you'll see it in the backyard. Actually, Bluffview Reserve is right behind this house. Let me take that back. There is another community with another builder that's a very small sliver of land that is their community. I won't mention it by name out of respect for Pulte. And then beyond that is Bluffview Reserve. And then beyond that is Ronald Reagan Boulevard. And so if you take Ronald Reagan Boulevard south of here, it's the same road that Apple is building their second campus. So at the time I'm recording this video, Apple just finished their first phase of that campus. Got a lot of Apple employees reaching out to me. So if you work at Apple and you want to be somewhat close to Apple, you're on a hybrid of some sort, reach out to me. I've worked with that type of situation dozens and dozens of times. I almost said hundreds of times, but definitely not hundreds, but at least dozens of times for sure. By the way, we are in the PPC. And if you've built a Pulte home before, so many people know what a PPC is. It's a Pulte Planning Center. It's really just like a built-in desk area. It's something that they're really known for. I don't know why, but for some buyers, they love that area because they want to have that area close to the kitchen where you can kind of put your laptop down, quickly get some work, maybe while you're cooking. Maybe you got kids close by and you want them to do work while they're downstairs and not upstairs in the game room, distracted by video games or toys or friends or something like that. So there's so many different uses there, but I've also had some people say, I have no idea how to use this space. I just put my mail on that countertop. And so I've definitely gotten both. Let me know how you would use that space. By the way, that breakfast nook area that was there was huge. That living room we saw was massive. And I love this backyard. It is a model home, so the trees that you see here, the tea lights that are coming off of it, it's not something that we usually see in a backyard, but Pulte is just giving you an example of something you could do after closing in your backyard, because I definitely have a lot of people doing great big backyard build outs. For example, I actually have somebody in this community in Bluffview that just put an incredible pool in their backyard, and it looks beautiful. Now, I told you I had a lot that was for Bluffview Reserve, the newest community that you can build the Lawson plan in. Here it is. Now, if you're wondering where you can build the Lawson plan or similar plans with Pulte, I'm standing in one of their newest lots in a community that just opened up called Bluffview Reserve. As you can tell, they have incredible greenbelt lots that are here, and the views that were in Bluffview are the same views that you have here in Bluffview Reserve. So if you need help with this, reach out to me. Back to the video. So that's exactly what I was talking about with the beauty that's here. So I hope that captured it really well. And getting back into the plan, I have to tell you, this is going to be the Butlers pantry, but that main living room was such a big reason why my clients decided to contract on this specific floor plan. Simply because when they talked about entertaining or just enjoying time as a family getting together, they thought that living room just really fit exactly what they were looking for. Space in that area to just congregate, get together, be together as a family with friends. And then also you have this separate space that is shown as a dining room in this model home. But what my clients were thinking about doing was just walling this off and turning this into a study. And that's because on their floor plan, the study in this model home, which is right next to this powder bathroom, is actually a full bathroom off of a bedroom. So that doesn't make any sense. Let me just rewind. The study that we're about to see with a half bathroom outside of it, there is a structural upgrade option to make that into a bedroom with a full bathroom off of it. So that gives you 2 bedrooms down. It makes this a 5-bedroom home, 4 full bathroom home, instead of what you're seeing here, 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathroom. These are the types of structural upgrades that I think matter so much, because when you're looking at all these different floor plans, sometimes there is one piece of the house that you just have to have. And for some people, that's 2 bedrooms downstairs. So many of my clients tell me that they have parents staying with them or somebody elderly staying with them that they don't want going up and down the steps constantly, and having that second bedroom down is important. Also, sometimes you don't want to have guests staying with your kids upstairs, because then, you know, all their stuff and all the bathrooms, you got to get them to clean it. This way you don't have to worry about it. It's just your guests stay down here, they're good. Or if you have parents, somebody elderly staying with you, they're good. You have that space down here. And then behind us, if you recall, I mentioned walling off that space and making it into a study. At the time I'm recording this video, I don't believe Pulte has that as an upgrade. With that being said, it's not like you're cutting into the framing of the home to make that happen. Anytime you're just putting drywall over top of the opening, it's not rocket science to do that. I got a drywall guy that comes in and does that, and then you just paint over top, and then it looks like a walled off study. And because the breakfast nook in the back of the home that we saw previously, which by the way had an 8-seater table in it, that is such a large space, I think you can really get away with doing that study in the dining room, just because that breakfast nook area, it's not really a breakfast nook, it's an enormous dining room in the back of your home that you already have. Speaking of enormous, this game room really fits what I think a lot of clients, my clients are looking for, which is that big game room space. So if you have kids, they can kind of come up here, they can hang out. If you want to enjoy time with your kids, maybe you want to watch a movie together, there's actually a media room that's right off of this game room. And then there's even 3 bedrooms upstairs with 2 full bathrooms. So this is where Pulte shows how big of a company they are. I mean, this isn't their first rodeo building homes. They're one of the largest builders in the United States. And so when people say they know how to get square footage in their plans, I'll tell you right now, Pulte knows how to do that. They've been building quite a bit, where they've had a lot of different iterations of these plans. And just like I've heard from many of my clients, I'm sure Pulte has heard from so many of their buyers that they love the idea of having a media room like this on their second floor. Just a space that you can enclose so that if you're watching a movie, you can kind of get that theater experience. I actually have a client that bought the provincial floor plan from Pulte Homes, which is right next door to this, which, by the way, if you're subscribed, I'm going to have a video walking you through that plan through the eyes of one of my clients who also bought that floor plan. And in their media room, they have part of their media room, because it's so big, they have it as like a workout area. And then the other half of their media room, they have as more of like a hangout area that you can enclose in. That's so important. I think sometimes when you can hear, you know, kids playing in the game room, you can hear whoever's upstairs. Sometimes that's, you know, me playing table tennis with one of my friends in the game room of their Pulte plan. Sometimes you can hear those things downstairs. And I think having that separate space where maybe there's a little bit more privacy between upstairs and downstairs, or privacy between the bedrooms and whoever's in the common area in the second floor, that's where that media room I think is crucial. Now, I'm going to completely contradict myself by giving you a counter argument and telling you that I've also had clients reach out to me and say, hey, we're already in a home, we have a media room upstairs, and we never use it. And I've been in some of my clients' homes that, just to kind of get an idea of what they don't like about their home, which is usually what they're pointing out. But I do like to visit it and get a good visual what that looks like. Sometimes they tell me what they like about their home, and that helps for their home search. But they take me to the media room, and some of these media rooms have like a projector, and the screen comes down from the ceiling and all this cool stuff. And then they tell me they never really use it. So I want to hear from you in the comments. I actually feel like this is more polarizing than I actually initially thought, where I think some people get excited about it, but then they don't use it, and others just are in their media room all the time. And I've definitely heard from both. So let me know in the comments what you think you are, or if you have a media room, tell me, were you excited to use it and then you never used it? I would love to hear from you and what your perspective is. Like, why don't you use it? On this side of the second story, we have 2 bedrooms that are split by a full bathroom. We saw another bedroom prior to this that had a full bathroom as well. So that's where you get the 2 bathrooms upstairs with 3 bedrooms. Now, while we're up here, I want to give you a glimpse at what's going on at this part of the Northwest Austin metro area. So I would call this the Leander, West Georgetown, South Liberty Hill area. Those are 3 suburbs in the northwest corridor of Austin, and all 3 we're right on the border in this community. And so I want to give you an idea of what it looks like at the time I'm recording this video if you're looking at homes around this square footage, like mid 3,000s to high 3,000s for square footage, usually built on a 60-foot wide lot. That's usually what it takes to build this type of plan. And I want to give you an idea of what this looks like now, because in the pandemic, there was options with Pulte. There was another builder that was in this community called Bluffview. And then there was a couple builders north of here in a community where they're building 10,000 homes. And obviously that community tends to have a lot of inventory, but for homes in the mid to high 3,000s for square footage built on 60-foot wide lots, there are really just 2 builders that most people would look at. There really wasn't a whole lot of other inventory. Now, the game has completely changed. In that community north of here, there are 6 builders actively building on 60-foot wide lots, including Pulte. So I'm going to show you one of those homes that you can build with Pulte. It's actually for sale at the time I'm recording this video, so that'll give you a good indication on pricing in that community north of here. I would show something in this area, but they don't have anything completed. And if I show you a home that doesn't have walls on it, that's a little bit dangerous to walk, number one. Number two, it's not very visually appealing, doesn't really give you an idea of what's out there. My point in sharing all of that with you is right now, at the time I'm posting this video, there are a great deal of options. And there are good options and there are bad options. And there are builders that are really aggressive right now with pricing because they have a lot of supply. There are builders that are not very aggressive with pricing and are still a little bit expensive in some areas. So if you're looking for that unbiased perspective, reach out to me. My number's at the bottom of the description of the video. And I just realized I don't even think I introduced myself earlier. My name is Raj Sahu. I'm a realtor here in Austin, Texas, and I've represented clients with 20 different builders. And by the way, I don't even care that I forgot to introduce myself. It doesn't matter. I'm more focused on providing value to you and showing the plan, because that's what matters most. Just like my clients who reach out to me through YouTube that contracted on this plan, I'm just focused on value to them and value to people like you. Now, if you want that home for sale built by Pulte, let me show you how to find it right here. Now, I want to hear from you in the comments. What did you think of the Lawson plan with Pulte Homes? What did you think of that game room that's upstairs that's massive? Now, if you want to understand pricing in the Austin metro area, you want to see homes that are actually for sale, go ahead and click on my website. It's at the top of the description of this video. And then if you need help navigating through the market here in Austin, reach out to me. My number's at the bottom of the description of this video. Finally, if you want to see that home that is for sale with Pulte, it's going to be right here. And as always, I hope this helps. Take care, everyone.